Hi and welcome to the Flatback 4 podcast with me, Andy Maguire, and of course joining me this week is Mr. Consistent himself, Scott Eagle.
Are you comparing me to James Milner?
I am, yeah. You are literally the James Milner of podcasts.
Thank you, mate. I would say you're like the Gary Lineker.
Well, I don't know if that's good.
Was a fantastic goal scorer in his time. He's now a presenter on 1.7 million a year.
Tell you what, mate, I wish I was. Listen, it's been a busy week. We had the crazy Sunday Premier League where I think I watched 15 hours of football straight and saw some crazy results. Into the England international break, we had transfer deadline day in there. We're going to be talking about the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But let's just start last week. Big shock. We thought that was going to be the biggest shock of the day. Man United won, Tottenham 6th.
Yeah.
It was a circus from Man United, wasn't it?
Just horrendous defending, man. And I don't know who that boils down to. There was a lot of individual errors, wasn't there, from Maguire?
Yeah. Maguire shoved Luke Shaw down.
Yeah, just sort of threw him out. Yeah. I do this sort of defending and just shifted him. But
I think we all could see what he was trying to do. But
yeah, I do feel a bit for Maguire at Man United because he was outstanding at Leicester, wasn't he? Let's call a spade, mate. He was the probably best Premier League defender for the 2 years that he were at Leicester. Hence why he got the England call up. Scored in the World Cup, mate. He was quality for a good couple of years, and that's no coincidence. That's no fluke. But who was it that was saying the other day? Was it someone on TalkSport that was saying that Man United defend a completely different way to how Leicester did, because Leicester sat back.
Absolutely.
You know, they sat back.
Yeah.
And Harry Maguire just headed everything out, got rid of everything. But now Man United are always on the front foot, and you know people are just running past Maguire and he can't deal with it.
I think Paul Merson won it. But he can play. We know that he likes to take the ball. He's not got blinding pace, but he's comfortable with his feet and whatnot. I think with Man United, they haven't addressed it. They didn't bring, they brought in Telles, didn't they? Alexis Telles, yeah. He was a very, very good player, but he's not centre back. I mean, they bought Cavani unless he's going to play partnership with Maguire at the back. I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed anything going forward. Look, do I think Cavani's a good player? Yeah, he's 33 though.
Yeah, I think
new league. Is he going to do what Zlatan did? I don't know. He may come in and he may score loads of goals, but I actually don't think that game aside with the sending off that Man United really needed Cavani. Why didn't they just go and get a centre back who's proven, maybe 25, 26-year-olds? Like Man City did with Ake.
The performance itself, though, mate, from a Man United team was just so poor, wasn't it? It's just completely against everything that.
Pogba, dreadful once again, awful.
He said in midweek, didn't he, about going to Madrid?
You're looking to get a move to Stoke, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't see it. I've never seen it since he's been back in a Man United shirt.
It was just such bad taste, I think, from Pogba as well. I don't know if he were asked a question or what, or who prompted him to say it, but after a 6-1 defeat. In a team where you're playing poorly, he says, I'd love to.
And he gave away a penalty.
Yeah, it's my dream to play for Madrid. Well, it's my dream to play for Madrid, but I play for Untuckit 5-a-side. Do you know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It was in such bad taste.
Anyway, but on the flip side, Tottenham brilliant again. Kane, Son, ripped him apart at the back. Did what any good team would do when they went down to 10 men. But I thought all over the pitch, I thought Spurs were fantastic, and I think they bought well. Reguilon, they bought obviously Bale in. They got Vinicius has come in. I actually think they've had a pretty decent transfer window. I still think they're a bit light at the back themselves, but I don't think that league titles they're not in there. But I think. If we win a trophy and get top 4 again, I think they'll have had a good season. But Liverpool then stepped up against Villa, and I mean we were texting. We couldn't believe what we were watching. They were poor. I mean, at least Man United had the red card, and you can go, okay. Sometimes it can happen. Sometimes you can play better when you have a man sent off. You get tighter. Sometimes you capitulate. Villa were very good.
Let's take nothing away from Villa. Villa were very good, but they just exposed Liverpool's frailties, and Liverpool played such a high line. I mean, Van Dijk's defending was awful. Trent Alexander-Arnold has proven to me week by week that he can't defend, and it backs up your comments about him probably pushing forward further on in his career. But even from sort of defending from the front, I don't think there was anybody in that team that came out with any credit whatsoever. Adrian was poor in net, although I felt a bit sorry for him because he wasn't exactly backed up with the side in front of him. And I'll let you speak about Joe Gomez.
Well, I tell you what, before I touch on Joe Gomez, I tell you what, watching Liverpool play, one massive thing, how much do they miss Jordan Henderson in that midfield?
Oh, mate. I mean,
shouting, berating, 5-yard passes, getting it quick. They were slow, they were sluggish. And then you've got Joe Gomez at the back, who would struggle probably to get to a Derby County team. I do not understand how this guy is getting anywhere near a Liverpool team, let alone an England caller, because I cannot see it. When he came in, he was okay. Yeah, he had a bit of potential. He's injury prone. I think Matip's back for the Everton game, I think he needs to go straight in there. I think he's a solid player, Matip. He looks all over. I can't believe what I'm watching. Van Dijk, that leader, that strong. I don't know whether I don't know what happened to him. But what I didn't understand in that game, Scott, was the fact that when they were 4-5-2 down, why didn't they just go, do you know what? We've had a bad day at the office today. Let's just sit back. They were continuing to go further up. So say that was a halfway line. They were there. Just sit back. Why did they continue to go and press? And Alexander Arnold, great footballer. I'm a massive fan. He's a forward player. He is so not a defender. And like you said, massively exposed.
Yeah, big time. And the thing is with Liverpool as well, man. I mean, although it was a scary performance, I think a lot of these performances post-lockdown and still in this period with no fans, I don't think they're a fair reflection on the team that probably Liverpool are anyway. But one thing with Klopp is I don't think you'll see another performance like that from another Liverpool Klopp team. I think Klopp's one of these managers who will just nip that in the bud.
Playing Everton next, mate. Everton next. That's the test, really, mate, because they've played so poor. It's not like they're playing a team. It's even if they're playing us again or Burnley or Fulham, they're playing Everton. And Everton are flying, so I think that they're going to go into that game a little bit nervy. Remember, international break was straight away. You didn't get a chance to get them in, and absolutely, the Premier League champions, European champions, I'm pretty sure that they know what they did that day was shocking. However, I looked at Van Dijk again for Holland. They conceded goals again.
Lost
Gomez,
in his first game, did he? Lost in his first game, De Boer.
Yeah, I just think it's not the right game for Liverpool to come back to. And if I were Everton, I'd be doing that, because once again, Calvert-Lewin is turning into Ronaldo 1998 Brazilian. I mean, he just can't stop scoring. He's got swag about him again. First England goal, fantastic. He was great again. Danny Ings and stuff this week. I know we're going to touch on England, but I'm really impressed with some of the lower teams and their men that are stepping up, and we're seeing, Carlo Ancelotti's getting the best out of Danny Ings. I think we all knew it was there, just injury prone. I think what you said though about the fans is a massive. I think you're right, because there's no one doing a pass and then getting berated by the fans, so they can kind of relax a bit. And I think Villa went into that game with let's go for it. Let's just have a go. Barkley, Grealish, all stepped up. How good were Grealish?
Oh, Grealish is fantastic, isn't he? I mean, he's just on another level.
Because you weren't a massive fan, were you? Six months ago, a year ago, you still had other people in front of Grealish, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I was still a big fan. I didn't think he was massively overrated. I just thought, with English fans and with English players, I think we put them on a pedestal far too early, and there were rumours of like 80 million, which even now 80 million for Jack Grealish is probably.
No, I agree. I agree. 50 mil to a club would be.
He was never
round figure.
He was never on the fraud list. Never.
Oh no! If you haven't checked out our fraud list, just go to Twitter and follow me and Scott Eaglin, because there's a few players added to that. I mean, I've got Pogba on my fraud list. Hazard is at the very top. Joe Gomez is on fraud list. I think I picked someone else up the other day as well, but yeah, no, Grealish, he's leading by example. He signed the contract. He's captain. He's Villa through and through. He was sensational.
Yeah.
And then got his first England man of the match performance the other night.
Yeah. But the thing about the fans though, mate, I think we said it, didn't we, just post lockdown in one of our first pods, that we'd start to see teams who maybe feel a bit under pressure from the fans, and Villa are a prime example of that. You know, where their fans have probably been last season really on the back. And by the way, let's not take away the fact that Villa have done some unbelievable business in transfer windows. But we've seen players...
Good. Smart business.
Yeah. But we've seen players who have probably taken a lot of flack from fans over the last couple of years, really started to excel this season. The prime example of that is Bamford, Patrick Bamford at Leeds.
Absolutely.
But yeah, even clubs that, you know, where fans are really on the back, like Newcastle to an extent as well, you've really started to see them excel. West Ham as well have had a couple of good results.
Talk about Wolves and the Leicester and whatnot. I mean, you know, West Ham brushed aside Wolves, and Leicester then got smashed after beating Man City. So it's, I mean, anyone's accumulator. The bookies must be like this at the minute because they're just winning every week.
I don't know what you're thinking about Wolves, but I think Wolves are probably in the beginning of not a transitional period, but after 3 years of absolute success, you know, they're probably going to stabilise this year, I think.
I think a nice cup run would be good for them, and a good solid position again.
Get into Europe.
Although
I
think they'll score goals. I think they'll score and they'll come good. I think maybe they're just finding the feet again. He's a class coach. Jimenez leads the line better than anyone. I really like Neto. I think he's a great player. I really like the lad who his name begins with P. Is it Prudence?
I think Prudence. Yeah. He
looks great. I mean, there were little signs I think last year, but he looks good. I think they'll be fine. I think they played a lot of games last year. We've kind of gone into another season quite fast. I think maybe there's probably is a little bit of tired legs there and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Obviously Traore, the keeper, Rui Patricio's great keeper. I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But Leicester, when they got it handed to them the other day, and they looked tired and sluggish, and looked everything that they didn't look against Man City.
We see that so often though in football, mate. You know, over the years you see a massive upset from Leicester are a lowly team added, but they were a massive underdog against Man City. It's that follow-up performance. You know, that result against Man City is only as good as the next result, and the next result was awful. So it kind of takes away that, you know, that positive sort of feel after the Man City game. But
they're not the only team to do it in the Premier League. Like I say, we've had a West Ham, Newcastle had a good win, then they got stuffed 3-0. You know, Liverpool got brought down to earth. So it's weird.
I think when Palace won there, didn't they 3-1 a couple of seasons back? You know, when Andros Townsend scored that absolute screamer.
Yes. I'm unbelievable.
I'm fairly certain they went on a poor run after that. It's just one of those, isn't it, where you're probably on such a high and you think, God, I can beat anybody now, and then you go back to you get brought back down to earth against I know that was a bit of a tongue twister. Against a team like West Ham. So, but yeah, again, similar with Wolves, mate. I think Leicester will be absolutely fine. I think they'll still be pushing for 5th, 6th, maybe even 4th.
Yeah, I agree. I want to touch quickly on that Man City, because obviously they played Leeds, and we took an absolute battering for 18 minutes, and then we lost. You know, we lost the goal, and we thought, because obviously Man City they'd been beat 5-2. We thought we're either going to get a spanking here. You know, but fair play to Leeds. I thought we were fantastic. Then we beat them all over the park. I thought that they dominated the centre midfield, even though stats say otherwise. I thought they still dominated it. However, I thought we grew into the game after the first 20 minutes, and we looked fantastic. Bamford led the line, great again, and you know we got the 1-1 draw, and obviously Rodrigo got his first goal. I just imagine Ellen Road would have been absolutely. It'd have been amazing, wouldn't it? But how good were we? I mean, I've got to say, I expected a bit of a pasting from Man City. I did, but fair play. I thought Bielsa got his tactics spot on, a couple of changes, and I thought we looked a totally different team.
I did say though, mate, you know, after sort of the first 10-15 minutes, we can soak up all that pressure. You know, we never looked as if we were going to concede, really. We were under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
Meslier made a couple
How
of
good
good
is
saves.
De Bruyne, by the way?
Oh yeah,
How good
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
He just ruined us, didn't he? Them
I mean,
first 20 minutes.
yeah. I mean, he made Click and Phillips just look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, didn't they? Just they
Yeah.
were just absolutely they were absent. But we grew
But
into
we're
the
going to
game.
get that. But they grew into the game. I actually thought Phillips grew into the game more than Click. I thought that he got found out a little bit. But it's going to happen these games, you know. And plus, as well, because we've had such a good start, I think that expectation immediately goes up when you only narrowly lose to Liverpool, and then we win two. We've drawn against Man City. We had more possession than Liverpool. I think we had more possession than Man City. I think after that
We did,
first
mate. Yeah, we
20
had more
minutes.
possession, more passes than Man City, which
More
is
passes. I
unheard of,
mean,
mate.
I can't actually believe that. I mean, the credit. I mean, I know we're biased because we're Leeds fans, but you have to say it's unbelievable how we've started this league. And maybe would we have started this league as good with fans in? I know that we're all buzzing to be there and we want to be at the Leeds games, but maybe with that pressure off, maybe it's not a bad thing, you know.
Probably, mate. I mean, I don't know how much pressure Leeds fans would put on the team with it being the first.
Come on, it's Leeds.
Yeah, I know. But with it being as first season in the Premier League in whatever it was, 15, 16 years.
16,
I don't think I don't think we put that much pressure on the team, particularly against teams like Man City, Liverpool, teams like that. Maybe against your Fulhams and Sheffield Uniteds of this world. I hate saying that. They probably would be. There probably would be pressure on the team, but maybe not against Man City. But yeah, we grew into the game. We overran Man City. We overpassed Man City, and we probably looked more threatening in the second half.
Oh, unbelievable!
Last few minutes, Man City looked quite threatening in the last sort of 5-10 minutes, but we never really looked under threat, and we should have scored. We hit the crossbar.
Sorry, no! Just before we move on, though, like I think the good start to the season is something that we really need, and I think the quicker that we can get to that 20-point mark, before Christmas would be sensational. If we can get up there, I think if the fans are allowed back in, then we can maybe start to enjoy the season, because I think Fulham and West Brom have proved that unless they go on some sort of run, the start for them is not great. It's not looking good for them. I think that there's worse teams than Leeds in the Premier League, so I do think that we're going to be more than fine. I think we'll outplay a lot of teams. I do think that we're going to get a hide in a couple of times because of the way we play. That's no problem. I'm quite happy with that. But I do think, how important do you think it is to get them points built up as quick as we can? Because I think we're going to go on a run where we might draw, lose, draw, then win.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think the most important thing is for particularly the teams that come up is maybe not to get the points early as possible, but to get the points against the teams where you would expect to win. Not expect to win, but expect to be competitive.
But Fulham, Sheffield were prime examples.
Yeah.
We won them.
So if we've got a bulk of fixtures where there's none of the top six, that's the period you need to focus on, and that's the period you need to get the points. It's not really we're not going to be judged against teams like Man City, Liverpool, your top six teams. We probably, like we said at the beginning of the season, mate, we're probably going to take a couple of pacings across, against a couple of teams, and we'll take that. I'd still take 17th now, but it's against the teams like a Fulham, a Sheffield United, a West Brom, a Burnley. Those are the teams that I would.
No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Those are the teams I'd expect us to A, be competitive against, and particularly at home, B, win against them. Absolutely.
Quick question before we move on to the international and the next subjects that we're talking about. What happens if Leeds do have this great run and we end up finding ourselves for round 7 and 6?
Oh man, I panic, mate. I think it's too much success too quickly.
No, I agree. Do you
know what I mean?
I agree.
You see it so often, don't you? These teams.
Ipswich did it all them years ago, didn't they?
Yeah. It's sorry.
No, go on.
It would be Bielsa. Don't you remember Bielsa doing that last season? And he couldn't do it. Ipswich. But don't you remember, these teams that have this amazing first season, and then it's that second season syndrome that teams always talk about this. Like you say, Ipswich did it a few years back, and they got Europa League or UEFA Cup, what it was back then, and then they were relegated the following season. Yeah. But Leeds are more equipped than most teams to deal with success quite early. In the
I agree. We can attract bigger players as well.
We can attract bigger players, as we have done already. We can attract more fans. But saying that, I would stay away from too much success too soon.
Oh, I agree. I'd take a 10, 12, like we said. I had us 12.
Just a quietish season. Build on that next season, and then in 2 or 3 seasons' time, let's just go for it.
I mean, hell, I wouldn't even mind if we were like 10th around, 9th, 10th around January, and we have a decent cup run then, because maybe the pressure's a little bit off. I wouldn't mind that. But however, listen, we're going to talk more about Leeds, obviously after the international break. But it was the international break. Players stood out. We've already spoke about Jack Grealish, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course, scored. I mean, that was probably the most nailed-on bet that you could have done. How did you think England played? I know that it was a massive makeshift, team. But Pope coming in and whatnot. Connor Cody, I'm a massive fan. But someone like that for Man United, why? He's 27. He's had 2 great years in the Premier League. Wouldn't that be a no-brainer for a Man United? I don't know.
Possibly, but then we said
I think he's brilliant.
Possibly, but we said Maguire would be a no-brainer for Man United, and that's not really.
Yeah, but I do think it is still a no-brainer, because I still think that he needs a partnership. He's had Bailly, Lindelof.
But he's another one that plays in a 3 though, man, and he's more suited to that. And Maguire is more suited to playing in a 3. I think we're actually quite blessed with centre backs, and even Tarkowski, who can't even get into the England team.
To restart this podcast, mate.
Let me put my teeth back in. But do you know what I mean? The players like Tarkowski, who can't even get in the England team, who's probably one of our best players on his day. Who's to do it again? $50 million bid for. Yeah, again he's 20. Again he's 26, 27, and there were some good performances against Wales, exactly as I would expect it. 3-0,
absolutely
steady away win. They were missing their 3 best players. We were probably missing our best 3 of all players.
I don't know, mate. Ampadu were playing.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
But so realistically, but I thought Wales looked poor. I thought we just did a good job, and you got to admit, it was a B team for us, but great chance to play them players and whatnot.
Mate, we played the form players. Calvert-Lewin, Ings, both on form. Grealish on form. I mean, let's put 2 and 2 together here, mate. Play the form players. Yeah. You get a good result.
True. I agree, and I love. I liked it. I thought we were a bit slow first 20 minutes. It was a little bit passive and a bit, but then I think Grealish thought, right, I've got to try and take this game by the scruff of the neck. He did do that, and we basically took control, and he was fantastic, And Calvert-Lewin, I was talking to a mate earlier on in the week. I able to mates by you. I'm sorry, mate. I just thought I'd let you know that. But we were saying about Calvert-Lewin. He's got that swag now. Remember when Jordan Henderson was in his shell a bit, and then all of a sudden he started walking onto the pitch and he had this bit of a swag. Calvert-Lewin as well. He also looks like he's been in the gym. He's got that Drogba-esque about him now. He's got that. I've got 4 defenders in front of me. I'm going to beat all of you. I'm going to get through you, and I'm going to head it. You know what I mean? I think, and that's the difference from. We all knew he had that potential. But then now he's turned that potential and gone, because Ancelotti, King of Bake Off, has said, he's put his arm around him and gone, you're good, go lead the line, go dominate that line. And obviously bringing in James Rodriguez and Richarlison, who are good players and whatnot, it's obviously going to be a bonus to him. But Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane, potentially, could they play together? Because Harry Kane's dropping a bit deeper, or do you think he's always going to go Kane, main man, with 2 pacey wingers at the side of him?
I think it's difficult to drop Harry Kane, and I would never drop Harry Kane deep, because that proves my point around.
No, but he's doing it naturally, though, mate.
Yeah, I know.
He is dropping.
But that would, but I hope he's not doing it naturally, because I wouldn't want him to do that. He's well on the way to becoming England's best goal scorer. And it just backs up. I
agree.
And it backs up my point.
He's going to score, mate. He's going to score loads of goals still.
He needs to be further forward, mate. That backs up my point about English players being a victim of their own versatility. Harry Kane's our best striker, playing with striker. Don't bring him deep.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't put him on corners.
Yeah, don't put him on corners. Oh God, mate, yeah, I remember that.
I know.
Gosh, yeah, throwback. Why did he do that? Why did he? Anyway. But yeah.
Very good. Very
good corner. Howie. But but Calvert-Lewin, mate. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. We talk about players again on every podcast we say, don't we? Players who have come from being an average player to becoming at the top level. Right, where do you go from here? Another example of that last season, maybe not on the same scale, was Pookie last season. Who had an excellent start, mate. I think he scored. I think he was similar. I think he's got like 4 and 8 or something.
7,
5 and 8. Something like that. And then after sort of November time, Timo who? You know, and another.
I think it's going to be.
Another
I
opposite
think
end of
it's
the
going to
career.
be different.
But
yeah.
But
yeah,
do you get what I
yeah.
mean? It'd be interesting to see now. It'd be
Got to
interesting.
admit, mate, I didn't think when I came on this podcast you compare Timo Pukki to. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, Timo. No, I do get what you mean, but I do think in the Everton team, he's got a world class manager, world class manager, former world class player, won everything in the game. They've bought fantastic Dakari, Ahmed Rodriguez. They've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, who's again now raised his game again. You know, as soon as you bring
Alan as well.
So yeah, Alan is coming in. Looks like he's just built for the Premier League. So I do think Calvert-Lewin is going to have a good season, and how fantastic that he is. And we've got Ings, we've got Harry Kane, Ings, and Calvert-Lewin going into a Euros. I mean, unless all three of them get injured, if one of them got injured, I feel like we've got backup now, which we were kind of lacking before. And we had Danny Welbeck, and these players that did a job for us and stuff like that. But we've got goal scorers now. Germany have goal scorers.
Yeah.
England have goal scorers.
I would hope now though that Southgate persists with the players who are on form, because we saw it with Vardy. And by the way, Vardy's still our top goal scorer in the Premier League. You know, in terms of English players, the best one can't even get in the team because he's retired. But I would hope that Southgate now goes with form players. You know,
I don't know, mate. Hasn't Calvert-Lewin scored? He's scored one more now, hasn't he?
Something like that. They're up there anyway.
But I get what you mean.
I would hope now that he persists with form players rather than persisting with Kane just because he's captain. And Kane is our best player. There's no doubt about that. But if he's not on form, he shouldn't be starting. And if Ings is on form, or if Ings has scored 5 in 8, or if Calvert-Lewin scored 6 in 10, going into an international break. But please tell me, why are we playing international games in the middle of a pandemic? Why are we playing friendly games?
I'm flying to different countries. I have no idea.
I know we're towards the back end of the pandemic and we're just sort of easing his way out. But
are we?
Well, I don't know. Anyway, we're playing friendly games. We're playing nonsense games.
I agree. We've qualified now. I think maybe they could have been on the back burner. But however, we've still got to have our England games for the players. So we're not going to a Euros going, who do we pick? Just going back to Kane, if he's not playing on form next year, say like he doesn't score in his last 15 games, does he still start for England?
What, in Euros?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Really? Because remember Alan Shearer? Euro 96? He didn't score a goal.
Right.
And Terry Venables said to him, doesn't matter, you're going to be my number 9. He went on and he scored 7 goals.
Let's put it this way then. If he does do that and he is on poor form towards the back end of that season, there's always warm-up games, isn't there? We always have 2 or 3 warm-up games, or we have a mini tournament or some rubbish like that. Maybe start him in 1 or 2 of those, and then if he's still off form, then you've got no excuse then to carry on persisting with him.
I suppose. Fair play. No, fair play. But the Belgian game, obviously we expect a stronger England team. I think we need a big performance. Just because it's Belgium, England, France favourites for the Euro. I think England are out and out favourites, actually, ironically. I still think France edge it for me at the minute. However, we're up there. Good performance needed. Does he persist with Pickford? Does he still try, or does he keep the majority of our first England team and maybe just maybe start Calvert-Lewin? Or I'm probably guessing Kane's going to start, but maybe start the strongest team and make an early change and bring on Calvert-Lewin, Ings and whatnot. Grealish has to start.
Grealish has to start, man. Has to start.
Yeah.
You'd probably start a front three of like Kane, Grealish, probably Rashford maybe.
Yeah.
Is he front three? Maybe.
I mean, we forget about Rashford because he plays on the left. He's really, for me, he is an out-and-out striker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, you probably start
a bit of a throwback.
Probably start your best team. It's difficult to drop Cody. It's difficult to drop Grealish. Pickford probably does come back in because he's never let England down, really. I know he's off form.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's never really let England down, and his distribution sort of suits the way that we play as well.
I agree. Until he starts letting England down, I do agree with that. I think
same with Maguire.
He'll play, unless his form's off.
Same with Maguire, mate. I think he'll probably come back in as well for the Belgium game. Again, he's never really let England down.
It's like a Maguire, Cody.
Maybe Maguire, Cody.
Trippier, Chilwell if he's
back. Chilwell,
Chilwell. Yeah. Then Grealish, Rashford, Kane.
Do you start Phillips in the middle, or do you start Winks? I don't think we should go 2 midfielder, 2 holding. Not a chance.
No. I don't know. Maybe you could play Phillips. I think you could play Phillips.
I think if you're going to play 3 centre backs, then you play Winks. If you're going to play 2 centre backs, I think you play Phillips, because Phillips is more defensive. He's more of a tackler.
I agree with that.
Winks is more of a Henderson type player where he just keeps the ball moving.
I agree.
But yeah,
I agree. But I just think we need a good performance. A lovely 2-0 would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Grealish setting up, and Harry Kane scoring, and maybe a Connor Cody goal as well.
Oh, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be really nice.
Listen, how long have we got left of the pod, mate? You tell me how long we got left, because I want to talk about. So we've got 7 minutes, right? We're going to touch on this pay-per-view Burnley against Aston Villa that we're going to pay $14.95 for.
I mean,
I certainly won't be paying it.
I certainly won't be paying
it. What are they thinking? Come on, Scott. What are they thinking?
What's the thought process behind it, mate?
Who signed off on this? Who has signed off on this?
Well, who signed off on it, mate? 19 of the 20 clubs, which is the most worrying thing. Yeah, let's all give a round of applause to Leicester.
I agree.
Let's not forget this, by the way. When all this blows over and all this arguing stops, let's not forget this, that Leicester voted against it. Because the other 19 clubs should be, I don't know, told. They should be told. But it's horrendous, isn't it? Why are we being charged, particularly in the middle of a pandemic, where people have paid for season tickets? They've paid £500-600 for season tickets, a grand plus for Arsenal season tickets. They can't watch the team. Now you're having to pay £15 extra to watch your team against Burnley or West Brom. Listen, it doesn't really matter who the opposition is, and it doesn't matter who the games are.
No.
The fact is, it's 15
because
quid.
if you are a fan of them teams, you think, oh yeah, I want to watch. If it was Leeds Burnley, we want to watch it. If Burnley are playing Villa, we think it's a bit of a. I'm not paying $14.95. But Burnley fans and Villa be like, oh, I'll watch that. That's my team.
Yeah. And the thing is, mate.
$14.95.
And the thing is, mate. People have been dead against it, and I won't pay it, but people will still pay it.
I know they will.
People will still pay it,
and that's what. Shall I tell you what I do? Can I just say it? Because I know we haven't got long left, but. If they'd say it's $2.50 a game, but we're going to donate it all to AFL,
mate,
I'd probably do that.
They've gone about this totally the wrong way. Right? If you're gonna make games pay-per-view, fine. £15 is extortionate. £15 is a lot of money, man.
I wouldn't even pay $5, mate. I think £2 because I think people would go, okay, let's do that.
Yeah,
I think if the club's made it, or why don't the clubs make a generation a fee?
Or do a deal, mate.
And the fans do $2.50.
It doesn't sit right with me because finances have been really examined over the last couple of months. We see Tottenham putting their staff on furlough. We see Arsenal doing the same. Gunnosaurus, ridiculous.
He lost his job.
Then
PR stunt. And then got the biggest PR stunt in football.
Yeah, Mesut Ozil has obviously been told by his agent to pay for it. So finances have been scrutinised a lot. But then clubs are paying 35, 40, 50, 65, 70 million on players. Fans are the ones who are, a lot of the fans have been on furlough, been struggling with money. Mental health's a big thing as well, away from football grounds. To then charge people
World Mental Health Day today. It's World Mental Health Day today.
To then charge people £15 to watch a game of football is
ridiculous. It's absolutely
moronic,
ridiculous.
Mate. I mean,
shall I tell you something? I think it's going to be reversed. I think they're going to stop it.
Possibly.
I do. I think it'll stop it. I think people are going to pay it, but they're not going to make any money off it. It's not going to be. And I think it'll.
And as well, these aren't 3 p.m. games either, mate. These are games that are sort of midweek or. Fair enough if they were 3 p.m. games, that were games that we wouldn't usually see anyway. Charge us for it. Charge us in bulk for the day. Charge us £15 to watch them all. Charge us $2.50 a game, but £15 to watch 90 minutes of football.
I know it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's even more.
I cannot get my head around it.
It's even more than. Do you remember Prem Plus that used to work in partnership with Sky Sports?
Oh God,
and that was pay per view. That was pay per view, and it was like one pay per view game every week. And I think we're only about £8, and that was in a time where you could watch most games anyway and go to most games. Now you can't go to most games, and now we're paying $50. Listen. Talk about this for an hour. Ridiculous, mate.
I know.
You tell me.
Well, I can't tell you, but I think they're going to reverse it. I really do. I think that I saw on Twitter, I saw ex-players, writers, Henry Winters of the world and stuff like that, just absolutely crucifying in it, and rightly so. But like I said, we could do an hour on this. It's absolutely disgusting. Premier League, they should hang their head in shame. How long have we got left?
2 minutes.
Because I want to touch 2 minutes. Transfers. Who do you reckon's had a good transfer? Who do you think's not had a good transfer? And maybe your signing of the summer.
Best transfer window has been Spurs. Best transfer of the window has been Bale, dependent on how fit he is. Worst transfer window, Burnley. And that is why Burnley are going down. Because Sean Dyche ain't getting backed. And he hasn't been backed for a couple of years now, and he's quite vocal about it. And he ends up signing 3 transfers of other Premier League players who have been released. For example, Dale Stephens from Brighton, who is an average Premier League player and probably fits straight into a Premier team. But he's not been backed. They're probably relegated, and it's.
And then Sean Dyche will go, and then Burnley could go on that.
Yeah, on that downward spiral, mate. But yeah, Spurs probably best transfer window. Good recruitment. Good left back is Reguilon. Excellent signing is Gareth Bale. And the other Portuguese lad could potentially be a great signing. And Bale's probably the best.
I'm going to switch. I think Villa have probably had the best signing. If you look at the biggest picture of the lot of them, I think Arsenal have done quite good business. I like Thomas Partey. I think he's going to be an absolute beast. Worst, I absolutely go with you, mate, and say Burnley. I just think they're in a heap of trouble. And one to look forward to this year, a player. I think you touched on it. It depends how fit he is. I'm really interested to see how Bale kicks on again. Really interested. I think it was Michael Richards or someone saying if he's 70%, we've got a great player.
If we get 70%,
I agree. I agree. Playing new FIFA, he's only rated 83. I think he wants to try and get back to 86, 87. But I'm interested in seeing Bale. I think he's going to be the one that we're all excited to see him again. He's still only 31 years old. He's not going to run 70 yards, but if he can ping a few into the top corner, I think he'll make Tottenham fans happy and whatnot. But I think it's going to be a good season. It's going to be topsy-turvy. We're going to be back. We do have some guests coming up, don't we, in the next month or so as well. And we're going to have some non-league guests. Got Ian Dowie coming back on the show and stuff like that. So lots to look forward to. International break now. We will do another podcast next week reviewing England's performances over the next 2 games. But for now, take it easy and we'll see you very, very soon.
See you soon.